Welcome back, my people. I am the Kenyan Explorer, and today I have a very interesting story that will make you uh, so surprised. You may think this story is it looks unbelievable, but it is something that happened, and today it is still happening in one of the country here in Africa. And I'm gonna talk about the two poorest presidents in the world. I'm going to talk about the Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso and Jose Mujiga of Uruguay. Jose Mujiga of Uruguay take over the power since 2010 and ruled up to 2015. Before Mujiga entered the power, Uruguay never had a good economic record. Uruguay had a very major. This is an interesting story that I never had since Jose Mujiga take over the power. He never changed his life. He only used to own 1987 a Volkswagen, and he said that it is enough for him. He never changed his salary. He never changed his salary to the presidential salary, but he only decided to take 12,000 dollars as his salary, and in this $2,500 he only used $2,500, and $10,000 used to share with the people in need, with the poor people who had nothing to put on the table. Jose Mujiga never used to live presidential palace or presidential office. He only used to spend his time their home duties, like going to farm, planting for flower farming every day, and do everything that he felt like he's okay with. And everyone was so surprised about this guy. Which kind of leader is this? And because of what he had in his mind, Jose Mujiga never think of his life or his family. He only think about the people he's governing. He only think about the good life the people of Uruguay can get. He only think about how the people of Uruguay or his country can from their country, from the resources, the little resources they have. This guy never had a large security personnel that used to guard him. He only had two policemen and two dogs that were used to guard his compound during the night. He never assigned any a luxurious vehicle or luxurious to his ministers or government officials, but used the small resources he had to utilize the resources, the economy of his country, Uruguay. Now, let me come here back in Africa. Let me talk about the Ibrahim Traore. The Ibrahim Traore is the most youngest leader in Africa. He is young in flesh, but very old when it comes to thinking capacity, or when it comes to the way he thinks. Ibrahim Traore come to power in 2022, and since he come to power, he only have one vehicle, which is a Land Cruiser, which is a Land Rover Defender with a bulletproof. That is the vehicle he used everywhere he go. Ibrahim Traore he's doing much than Jose Mujiga of Uruguay. This guy has never assigned any luxurious vehicle to his ministers or any government officials. The money he may have used to sign the luxurious vehicle to his minister or government officials is the one he has decided to assign to some tractors, so that no one can come out to claim that maybe he has no job. You don't have job now. There is a tractors. You can take the tractor to the farm. You can do your farming there. Then everyone their farms happily. This guy never spent his time in a government office or a presidential office, but most of the time he is spending visiting some sites. He's visiting some his borders, visiting the poor people, visiting people who are in need, and try to help where he can do. Most of the time, you will find this guy carrying his pistol or AK-47, and he is the one leading to the war fronts. Where the war is occurred, this guy is the one who is leading uh, uh, his troops. Since Ibrahim Traore come to power, he never think of his life. He never think. He is only thinking about the life of the people he is governing. Burkina Faso is the country that is supposed to be the poorest country in Africa, but now today the story or information is very different from what it may be or what we used to know. Today in Africa, everyone is giving testimony about the Burkina Faso. Everyone's talking good from Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso used to be the law when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to development, when it comes to economy. But now today, for this shortest period of time, everything has changed in Burkina Faso. Now Burkina Faso is having a new airport, the new companies, the new development. Burkina Faso is having a lot that even the developed countries in here in Africa doesn't have. Burkina Faso is now stable when it comes to security, where the most stable security stability countries here in Africa don't have. Burkina Faso is today now owning even their own drones for their security. Now, here in Africa, after every 5 or 4 years, we go to the election. After election, every country, every regime that comes into the power, they have their own principles on how they want to do or to work in their government. Here in government, the president once sworn in, he assigned his V8 and two other V8 for his escort, no, four of his escort, and assigned every governor the new V8, and every senator he is assigned to new V8. Instead of African countries utilizing their little money they have, their little resources they have to develop their countries, they are spending their money in Japan buying a V8 for every government officials. When you calculate every V8 here, it's range to like $200. $200 is the money that can buy, that can build up a company, and give the opportunities to many unemployed people. Now, you may find that in one government, in that 4 years, maybe they have bought like 1,000 pieces of V8. If you can calculate that amount of money that has been used to buy this V8 for the government officials, you may find that this money can build up like 3,000 companies in 4 years. And if one government can decide to do this calculation and do as we are talking here, maybe there will be no any day that any citizen can come out claiming that there is unemployment, the life is so hard, because everyone will have at least a chance, will have at least somewhere to go work and bring something on table. But now here in Africa, all leaders are just believing on themselves. They are believing enjoyment. Once they get in power, the only thing they think is owning everything in the country. Everyone is fighting to be at least the topmost, the richest person in the country. Everyone is fighting as the leader to have everything that maybe everyone will be able to praise him as the richest man. That's why African countries can never never grow up and compare to some developed countries in Europe. Because instead of utilizing and using our little money we have to develop our countries here, we are taking all the money in Japan, in Dubai, just to buy luxurious cars for our president, for our government officials. Ibrahim Traore is very young. He is supposed to be doing things, enjoying life, owning everything he have. But now things are different. What he's thinking about is about his people, his citizens, how he can change the economy of the country, how he can make his citizens feel like they have a government, they have leaders, they have the country they can benefit from. When I came up with this idea of these two poorest president in the country, I prayed God and feel like I thanked God because of bringing such on the face of the earth. Because if we could have such kind of leaders like 20 or 10 here in our countries, maybe our countries can have a different face from what we usually know. Let's try to have the leaders that have the visions of the citizens and their countries, the visions of which they feel like they even themselves feel like they have did something. Even if they go, they will leave behind some legacies. When we have a leader who is only believing in owning like vehicles like a V8 Ferraris, these are not leaders. These are people who are just there to benefit themselves, to have what their dreams were about, but not what we as citizens have or wish to have from these leaders. It is time now we as citizens, when it comes to the time or point of electing leaders, we have to elect leaders who has visions on what they can do to their citizens, what they can do to their countries, instead of benefiting some countries that has already developed. This country has nothing they want when it comes to development, because they have did a lot. All they are doing today is just to making profits. They bring some V8 here in Kenya, in Uganda, in Somalia. Every government official w- is willing to have such vehicle, instead of willing to build a company so that he can benefit his citizens and change the system of life people used to have. I am the Kenyan explorer. I've talked too much. I was talking about the two poorest presidents in the world, which is Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, and Jose Mujiga. Thanks for your time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Kenyan Explorer, and thanks for your time. Cut.